Hello, today's PowerPoint is titled Improving Quality of Preschools Through Teacher-Student Interactions to Close the Achievement Gap. So let's go ahead and get started. First, let's talk about low socioeconomic status and brain development. Research shows that children from low-income households that come into kindergarten are often substantially behind from peers who come from higher income households. Children from low SES households are less likely to have early educational support that helps them develop cognitive and social skills. Parents and guardians of low SES children tend to be more stressed due to financial problems, and they have less time to dedicate teaching their children due to long working hours. Low SES children are often exposed to stressors that can affect their cognitive function, such as family turmoil, substandard living environments, and food insecurity. These circumstances affect their brain's memory and decision-making skills. And here we have a chart that shows that compared to their white and higher income peers, African American and Hispanic children, they began their kindergarten months behind in reading and math. So this chart is from the National Institute for Early Education Research. And as we can see, this holds true for both African American and Hispanic. And of course, that includes low income also, since usually minorities are overrepresented in low income scenarios. Now let's talk about the benefits of preschool. So first of all, social and emotional development. In preschool, children learn how to problem solve, compromise, and be respectful. Children have a safe environment where they can explore, play with peers, and build self-confidence. Preschool also helps kids prepare for the school environment once they enter kindergarten. They learn about school routines, such as raising their hands, taking turns, and following the teacher's directions. When it comes to academics, children learn numbers, letters, comprehension skills, and language skills. And also having preschool available for these kids allows the parents to continue working while their children are at school, so they can make progress in their careers. And children also have access to nutritious meals that they might not be able to have at home. And also in some programs, educators and counselors will visit families to help them find resources for financial assistance, such as CHIP or WIC. Now we come to the question if preschools are actually making an impact. So the two main educational programs offered by the government are Head Start programs and preschool programs in public schools. And although preschool programs are available, most early childhood education studies find that some positive effects from the programs start fading over time. Cognitive impacts tend to disappear within a few years, but longitudinal studies show decrease in criminal activity and higher earnings when these children are adults, when they grow up. So researchers are trying to figure out what kind of skills or behaviors are particularly important to help children have longer positive effects to close the achievement gap. To do this, we need to examine how to make preschools for low SES students higher quality. So here I have an example of a Head Start classroom. Project Head Start started in 1965, and it was designed to help break the cycle of poverty for disadvantaged preschool children. Head Start provides preschool children aged 3 and above of low-income families with a comprehensive program to meet educational, nutritional, and emotional needs. And it is funded by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. And like I said, here we see a picture of an example of a Head Start classroom. This one is in Houston, Texas. And this picture is from the Houston Chronicle. And another form of preschool is pre-K programs that are funded by states or local school districts. So like HISD, KDISD, they offer pre-K programs. They serve 28% of the nation's 4-year-olds, and they target low-income children, and they also have financial eligibility requirements. They also offer health, vision, and hearing screenings, and the teachers in the school district preschools have to have their bachelor's degree, and also in half of the preschools, they also require training in early childhood development. So these preschools are not perfect. There's problems that they face. For example, most states lack the money to fund preschool for all low SES children. A lot of preschools, especially Head Start, sometimes they hire unskilled teachers due to low budget, and they also have high turnover rate. So often teachers will quit or they won't stay there long, and this hurts the feeling of stability for the children at the school. Due to low budgets, they also have low quality educational materials. And another thing is that some families might make just enough money to put them above qualifying income guidelines, which leaves many students in an educational gap. So now we start asking ourselves, how can we improve these preschools? These preschools can improve by having low teacher to student ratios. They can hire better qualified teachers, offer full day programs, and of course, this can all be possible if the government gives more funds to these schools, because we can't hire more teachers or offer longer programs if we don't have it in the budget. But most importantly, large-scale longitudinal studies have shown that positive student-teacher interactions have shown unique and positive associations with learning gains. So let's talk about these positive teacher-student interactions and other studies that have shown how they can help. A recent longitudinal study of more than 1,000 children in rural schools showed that positive interactions between student and teachers showed less behavior problems and better social skills than those in lower quality preschools. And these positive influences lasted until adolescence, so they had less chance of fading into the early school years. And in a large-scale study in Ecuador, children in the first 2 years of schooling who were assigned teachers with supportive methods had improved academic skills. It's also been shown that students who experience more positive student-teacher relationships showed better mental health when examined years later as teenagers. So less anxiety about school and more positive feelings towards school, and overall just better mental health. So continuing to focus on teacher-student interactions, according to data collected on state-funded pre-K programs in 10 states, students interacted with teachers one-on-one or in small group settings only 27% of the day. And a lot of these interactions tend to be passive. Teachers emphasize basic skills and right-wrong answers instead of ambiguous challenges that can help students use critical thinking skills, analysis, and reasoning. And also from observations, it has been shown that poor and African American students are more likely to experience less effective interactions, such as teachers being more harsh and dismissive versus sensitive or stimulating. In an NCDL study of state pre-K programs, only 15% of classrooms demonstrated high-quality interactions in both emotional and instructional support. So now we start asking ourselves, how can teachers improve their interaction skills with students? So one way is being sensitive to individual needs, giving feedback that extends the student's skills, having engaging conversations, helping students have a positive attitude toward education and the school environment, provide extra support or accommodations to students with disabilities or dual language learners, and also giving teachers opportunities to learn from observing others teach effectively. Teachers also need interventions to help them overcome stress or burnout. So here's some examples of positive interactions. Use specific praise statements. Instead of saying, "Good job," the teacher can be more specific and say, "You did a great job waiting patiently for your turn. Keep up the great work." Also, corrective statements that tell the child what to do. Instead of saying "no yelling in class," teachers can say, "Please remember to raise your hand to share your answer." Notice correct behavior and praise the students. "I like how everyone is standing quietly in line." Ask students open-ended questions to help them develop critical thinking. Example, why did the little red hen not share the bread at the end of the story? Here's some more positive interactions. Ask students to predict what will happen during a story to help them develop problem-solving skills in cause and effect. Example, what do you think will happen when the crayons get too hot? Talk about feelings and the appropriate way to handle them. It's okay to be angry. Do you want to take a few deep breaths to calm down? And also, we need to help teachers avoid burnout by giving them more planning time, smaller classes, more continuing education, and supportive staff for students with special needs. So in conclusion, although government-funded preschool programs are available for low SES children, studies have shown that some of the benefits of early education fade over time. Studies have shown that a particularly important factor in longer-lasting benefits stem from positive teacher-student interactions. By improving teacher-student interactions, preschool students from low SES households can gain advantages in education that will have both short-term and long-term positive effects in their futures. We need to invest in improving the quality of government-funded preschools to help close the achievement gap between lower income and higher income students. And of course, as we learned, teacher-student interactions is a big factor in that we need to consider. And lastly, here are the references that I used. From the Journal of Economic Perspectives, Investing in Preschool Programs, and also from the journal, The Future of Children, Quality in Early Education Classrooms. And that's it for today. Thank you. Bye.